Hi everyone, it's Andy and Joel at Codebreak with a Head of the Game episode today. We are going to be talking about...
likes and lols.
Now I'm sure just before we started then, Andy, we said we're going to call it Stop Doing It for the Lols.
Why'd you ask me then?
Just wanted you to say it.
I'm going to change my voice. I'm not happy with my voice. I listened to our podcast back and I sound too much like my brother / Alan Partridge.
You don't sound like Alan Partridge.
He's got a new podcast out, by the way.
Yeah, it's only on Audible though, isn't it? So you've got to be an Audible subscriber.
From the Oast House.
Yeah.
I saw a very disturbing video trailer for it where he basically starts undressing and it's left with him in his vest and pants.
Have you seen that two sculptors, as a labour of love, did a bronze cast of Alan Partridge, and it's outside the museum in Norwich.
Yeah.
And they've asked if it can stay forever.
Oh, wow. Love a bit of Alan Partridge. Started listening to him at university. Just these like audio cassette tapes. Absolutely hilarious.
Have you got a good impression of him that you want to do?
Oh!
that was actually pretty good.
Was that all right?
Yeah, it was decent.
That literally wasn't scripted either, was it?
No, I enjoyed that.
People might think these podcasts are properly actually scripted and written word for word. They're that polished, but they're not. I don't even know what we're talking about.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that they're absolutely not. So, likes and lols, stop doing it for the lols. So today, this is a mindset episode, and we're going to be talking about... You'll see a lot of businesses out there that post a lot of social media content and perhaps appear to be getting quite a lot of engagement, but actually the engagement's always coming from the same people. So maybe friends, maybe people in their business network, maybe family, but it's not actionable engagement, so it isn't driving any extra traffic to their website. It isn't increasing the reach of their posts. It isn't... Basically, it's not doing what it's meant to do from a business perspective. And, you know, our engagement suffers this sometimes. Your mum likes our stuff, my mum likes our stuff, and I want them to. I want people that...
Speaking of my mum, do you want to explain for her benefit what doing it for the lols means?
So, lol being laugh out loud, not lots of love.
Lots of love.
Like the guy that went to the funeral and text the family, lol, kiss. Yeah, so laugh out loud, or LMFAO, which is a similar.
Now I do know that one. No, I'm thinking of ROFL. Roffle that no one uses anymore, do they? That's basically when you're rolling on the floor laughing because something's so funny.
LMFAO is laughing my fucking ass off.
Ah, okay.
So
like IMHO, in my humble opinion, which means it's not humble at all because I'm fucking right.
And you're always a cock if you put the H in.
What did I just say?
Well, because some people put IMO and some people put IMHO.
Yeah, so in my humble opinion...
As soon as someone calls themselves humble, they're not going to be.
Humble brag.
Yeah.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Right, so the point being, it's the engagement on your posts that's making no actionable difference to your business. So it's nice, it's great for your ego, but is it the right people engaging? Is it the people that are going to drive your new business? Are you talking to the right people? And that's what this mindset's about. It's about getting out of the habit of talking to the people you know will engage and talking to the people you know will pat you on the back, and getting into the habit of talking to the people that need to hear it.
Mm. We had a business we know probably a few weeks ago now get riled up. And to be honest, we get a little bit riled up about this sometimes, where they're working really hard to put out some cool, interesting content, and yet one of their competitors, who is just shit, frankly, puts out inferior, really wishy-washy posts that, on the face of it, no thought's gone into. And she gets a ton of engagement, whereas he gets a lot less engagement. But I said to him, to sum it up in one sentence, would you rather have 5 engagements and 3 of them are off people who are actually likely to buy off you and give you money? Or would you rather have 100 engagements and, it's your mum, your uncle, people who do it because they're your friend or in your circle and they'd never buy off you in a month of Sundays? And he was like, yeah, but it's still bloody annoying, isn't it? I'm like, well, yeah, it is, unfortunately. But it's thinking about the bottom line, because I love it. You know, it's very nice that my mum and your mum likes all our stuff. That's great. But they're never going to become a client.
No. So there's 2 elements there, isn't there? Obviously, the more people that engage with your stuff, the more people will see your stuff. That's how the algorithms work. So we're not saying discourage your bubble, for want of a better word, from liking your stuff. that's valuable and lovely, and it's great that you've got that support network. No issue there. What we're saying is, if you're comparing your business against another business, and all of their engagement is their mates and their mums, that isn't actionable engagement. It's not that your content isn't good enough. It's just you've got no friends.
You're talking about me, aren't you, Joel? But to come back to my exclamation there, it is still bloody annoying when you know that so many business owners out there, not just a bit naively, really, they do look at numbers. Like if a client would turn around to us and say, "Oh yeah, but I'm not getting many likes, or I'm not getting many followers." Well, you're not paying us for that. You're
paying us for inquiries.
You're paying us for inquiries and sales. Don't worry about you haven't had 50 lols on your latest video. The fact that you've had 10 likes or whatever, but that's generated 2 inquiries.
And the trap we see businesses fall into because of that is they try and do funny content.
Or like and share posts. They break terms and conditions. So, like my post, share it to win a bottle of wine when you next come into our restaurant or whatever.
And all you get is people liking and sharing the one a freebie.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got no interest in your restaurant at all. There's going to be no loyalty. All they want is a bottle of wine. And when they don't win it, they'll probably just unlike your page anyway. They certainly won't engage your page content, which means when you post, even though they like your page, your post will be so far down their newsfeed, they'll never see it. And Facebook knows that, hence why you'll run the risk of them shutting down your account. And it's a minor, not a minor risk, it's a massive risk, but it happens so rarely. People think, oh, I can get away with it because everyone else does it.
We probably see a Facebook account shut down at least once a month.
Ad accounts pretty much every day.
Yeah. So they're on it at the moment.
Oh yeah, they keep saying there will be delays due to COVID-19. It's like, oh, you do something dodgy, they'll be on top of you within an hour.
Whether it's a robot or not, they're shutting you down pretty quick.
You do an ad about a hemp burger, they'll be all over that. I speak from bitter experience. How's your CBD all going, by the way?
Ask that.
No, I'm genuinely interested.
So I've been taking it a week, and not much of an effect the first night, but I would say every night since I've had a much deeper sleep than I have for years. So whether that's a placebo or not, I don't care really. I feel like I get to sleep quicker, I sleep heavier, and I wake up feeling more fresh. So
happy days.
Job done. That's what I wanted.
So basically, you're not going to stop, are you?
No. And
you will. You'll get to the point where you think, I'm going to try not having any tonight.
I don't want to take that risk. Do you know what I mean? So if something's working, it can't do you any harm. It's a natural product. There's no side effects as I can tell. Why would I stop? It's nice to go to bed and feel like my mind has slowed down and I can get to sleep.
Can you buy this stuff on Amazon now? Do Amazon have a problem with it, or just Zuckerberg?
I don't know if you can buy it on Amazon. I bought it direct from the manufacturer. So.
Oh, cool. No, loads of people are going on about it.
Yeah.
It's a massive market. It's going to be a massive market, and well, whether Facebook will change their mind about the regulations of promoting it via Facebook ads, I don't know.
They'll have to, because I think we're probably going to see the legalisation of cannabis.
I know, but
anyway.
At the end of the day, it's still it's not a one-person business, Facebook, but it's still his business. And I think if he doesn't want to do something,
can't tell me Zucks hasn't tried some weed at some point.
You just making an assumption because he was a student.
Yeah.
I tried weed at university once. It just never. No, not for me. Booze was always a winner for me. Booze was.
See, I was straight edged at uni, really. No, I wasn't. I drank a lot, but I didn't try cannabis till I was 30.
Okay, what was I, 20? Yeah, I mean, I know people that started smoking like tobacco just so they could start experimenting with joints and stuff. But then now I see so many young people do drugs a lot harder than marijuana. I think, Well, I mean, alcohol.
Do we just hear about it? Because there's that many young people that are very straight edged now as well.
No, I think the price.
The price.
I think the price.
Very accessible.
I mean, you can afford to do coke, but can't afford to smoke tobacco.
Yeah.
I mean, the price was, when I was at university, basically, not many people did hard drugs because they couldn't afford to.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Mind you, is booze cheap? How much is a pint now?
It's not cheap to drink out, but they all pre-drink, don't they? Like our team pre-drink before a night out. So This is going all over the place.
I know, don't know what we...
CBD doesn't even contain THC.
So one of my friends at university, he used to drink this Scottish wine before we went out to the Students' Union, and it was about $2.50 a bottle. It
was about 15% proof.
Awful. I used to drink Thunderbird. Bloody hell.
What's Thunderbird cider?
Oh, Thunderbird. No, fortified wine. There was a blue label and a red label. One was 13%, one was 17%. And basically, by the end of my first semester at uni, I was drinking it 50-50 with Happy Shopper lemonade and having to hold my nose. So I knew it was time to change up my drinking. Really.
Red Square vodka was big at uni when I was there because that was about £9 for a massive bottle.
Neat vodka?
Yeah. And
how much of that did you drink before you went out then?
Well, a lot.
Oh, God. I don't drink any... Oh, well, I suppose I could have neat single malt whiskey or something, but the thought of drinking neat vodka...
You just take a glug every once in a while as you're getting ready, and then once you're ready, you've had half a bottle of vodka.
Oh, yeah, I'm actually glad I've given up the booze now. It just... No.
I drank for the first time in ages this weekend.
What'd you have?
I had 4 small tins of cider, and then I had a rum later in the evening. And fine, I was eating and whatnot. But the following day, mentally, I felt like crap.
Really?
Yeah, it felt really low and anxious, and just thought it's not worth it.
Yeah. See, it's a head of the game episode. We're talking mindset. We're talking mental health. We're talking drinking, drugs, anything else we could. But no, it's simple. I mean, for me, well, you know how much I enjoy to drink. I mean, me and my wife, and we don't want to be born again because it's bloody irritating.
But you do go on about it all the time.
I go about it now and then. It's worked well for us. That's all I can say. Mentally sharper, physically sharper, more inclined to exercise for a start. Who's gonna exercise when they're hungover?
Yeah. Hannah dragged me out for a walk yesterday. Said, you look like you're in the shed. Let's go for a walk. It was a big walk.
What about your couch to 5K?
Well.
Okay. Emma always asks me every day, how's that going? So I don't know. Don't talk about fucking running.
You can tell Emma it's been an entire failure so far and I need to hold myself accountable to it. But
it's actually newfound alcoholism.
No, it's because...
that's a bloody strong coffee.
I made a bet with myself to do a deadlift that I probably shouldn't have done.
The 280?
Yeah. And I've suffered for it ever since.
That was like 3 weeks ago.
It was 2.5 weeks ago, yeah.
And you haven't run then? You wrecked?
Yeah, my lower back is in... So all of my training sessions since have been rehab.
Oh, wow.
Got one today, rehab. So
when are you going to get back on the running then?
Once my back allows me to not run like Michael Johnson. Because at the moment I'm sort of very upright. And
work for him though.
You did, yeah. Well, I mean, I had a feeling that I could probably better him, but one thing at a time. Deadlift first, Michael Johnson second.
Bloody hell. Right, where were we? Sorry, guys. If you think you stumbled upon a health and well-being podcast, which to be honest is part of what we do. A little bit. We talk about the lols and the likes and it being annoying when your shitty inferior competitors get loads of reactions to their posts. And they're running competitions.
That sounded like you meant our competitors, but we don't. We mean some of our competitors.
But it is about... I mean, I think I've said this analogy before. Like when I worked at ITV, we sold on volume. That yes, 30 million people watch Coronation Street, and that's what we sold on. But then when I moved to Pearl and Dean doing cinema advertising, cinema obviously doesn't get the volume of TV. So we sold on profile the fact that no, 10 million people won't see this film, but 90% of the audience will be 16 to 30-year-old men, which is who you're trying to sell to.
And so you're talking captive audience there.
Captive, yeah, and conversions about... Of course, numbers are important. Do you want 10,000 people seeing your stuff or one person? Of course, you'd rather have 10,000. But it's how many of these people are the right people, the ones who are going to buy off you, remember you, refer you to their friends. It's all stuff to be taken into consideration. So just because you haven't got 10,000 page likes or you're not getting 100 reactions every time you post on Instagram or LinkedIn, say don't worry about it. There are people out there, I mean young people especially, who are getting sort of mentally affected when they post something. It's like, oh, I've only had 5 engagements. Oh my God, my content's shit. And
it's looking very likely that actually the publicly facing part of it might get taken away. That although you as a user will be able to see how many people engage with your post, they might not show that publicly anymore. And
It's a measuring stick for many people and many businesses.
it's hugely. If, you know, it's like looking in the mirror, isn't it? If you've got issues with looking in the mirror, the last thing you're going to want to do every day is look in the mirror. And this is if you think your popularity is judged by how much engagement you get on your latest TikTok, it's going to be tricky when TikTok changed the algorithm and you start to get less engagement, or you reach an age where you no longer appeal to the demographic you appealed to before. And that's where we're going with this podcast, is that you need to be very, very sure of who you're talking to. Make sure you're providing value to those people. And the only real engagement you need to worry about is if it makes your business.
Does it make the boat go faster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because say if we're launching a business on social media, then of course it's like, yeah, tell your friends, tell your circle, tell your business associates, come and like your page, come and follow your new Instagram account. But bear in mind, it's the fresh blood, the people who haven't heard of you, that you need to engage with and get them to react to your content. And okay, the more support you have out there, the better. But you'll probably notice that if you've got a competitor that is continually getting lots of reactions, you'll probably see the same faces there. And if those faces aren't the ones who are going to buy off you, don't worry
about it.
It's easy to say, but yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, part of our education process when we're onboarding a new client is like, we're not doing this for the lols, unless that's what you want. If you're briefing us, say, right, I want 10,000 page likes. First thing we'll say is like, why? And if for whatever reason it's like, well, okay, we know what the goal is. That's a lot different saying, I want more inquiries, and then calling up a couple of weeks later and saying, well, my page likes don't seem to be going up very much.
If you think of like the average B2B customer, if they're having a snoop at your social media, it's probably to check how legitimate you are. Mm-hmm. So they go to your organic content and you're talking about sensible, valuable things that they can implement in their business, things that they hadn't quite thought of. Maybe they see that you've got a podcast, maybe they see you do weekly videos, maybe they get to see some of the faces behind your business. That's all useful qualifying content. That's the sort of thing that someone who's trying to decide between two companies, they might go and do that and go, well, I can't get a feel for who these guys are, but I really can with these guys. Mm. If they go to your page...
Marketing makes the selling easier.
Exactly, takes the friction away. If they go to your page
takes the friction
and you're pissing about in every post and you've got loads of engagement, I would suggest that might mean that person looks elsewhere, because unless that humour directly aligns with the values of your company and therefore attracts the sort of people who find that funny and disqualifies the sort of people that don't, it's wasted effort. Because what you're not showcasing your personality there, you're deliberately being wacky for the lols.
Oh, wacky.
I knew that'd get you.
Wacky. Yeah, that's such a great word. Because straight away I've got the picture in my head. And it's almost like Alan Partridge again.
It's worse, isn't it? Because he's not deliberately wacky. At least he's honest to himself.
Yeah, what does he say? He's interviewing someone and they say something divisive and he goes, oh, you're just trying to be wacky. And yeah, there are businesses out there that, posting stuff, then suddenly there'll be a video of a cat falling off a sofa and it's like, oh, well, where's that come from?
Yeah. And there's a situation last year, and we nearly fell into the trap actually, where Dolly Parton did the 4 faces of Dolly or whatever it was, and then everybody else did the 4 faces of their business. It became a massive meme. And unless you applied it in a way that it was relevant to your audience, all you were doing was jumping on the bandwagon.
What about people who jump on bandwagons too late? It's like, yeah, the Dolly Parton thing, that was 3 days ago, mate. It's like, don't do. If you wanted to do it, try and come up with something original and do it in a timely fashion.
Or wait 6 months and do a throwback Thursday and at least get away with it.
Yeah, and it is, because again, those numbers, we know there are some people who'll land, business owners who will land on a Facebook page for maybe a potential supplier, and they'll say, oh, they've got 5,000 followers. Oh, they must know their stuff. Whereas they land on the page, oh, they've only got 50 followers. Oh, or maybe I'll go elsewhere. And sometimes just life ain't fair. And ideally, of course, you don't want 50 followers. It is good to have a core audience, but it's it's got to the point now where we need to bang on about literally all the time that the Facebook algorithm, the reach you'll get organically, it is so inconsequential compared to paid for reach.
Yeah.
It's like organic content. It is, of course, it's important, but so many people don't realise 5% at best will be seeing what you post.
Yeah. 2 to 5%.
Isn't that scary? So even if you've got, well, I'll need your help on the maths here now, Joel. Even if you've got 10,000 Facebook page likes, when you post something, on average,
200.
There we go. 200 people see it. You think out of 10,000 people, 200
That's the
see it.
2%, sorry.
Yeah. So 5%?
500.
Yes!
Yes!
You just see numbers.
It's like Neo.
Like Rain Man, I was going to say, but Neo's probably more flattering.
Yeah.
A lot more flattering. Good reviews for Bill and Ted, speaking of Neo
really?
and Keanu Reeves.
So it's a funny one for me, Bill and Ted, because I was too young originally.
Okay, I wasn't. Okay.
So I missed it the first time round, and now it's back, and I don't know what the fuss is about. Talk me to.
So how old were you when you watched the first two then?
Not sure I've watched either of them all the way through.
Wow. Okay.
Because I would have been like 2 and 4. When
I'm really not sure what you'll make of it then, because, I mean, mind you, I haven't seen 1 and 2 for ages. I've got a fear they would have been of its time, like Wayne's World, hilarious at the time, but now it's like,
So I've seen Wayne's World.
Who are these two idiots? And what do you think of that? Because I'm
totally cool, excellent.
Because I haven't seen Wayne's World for donkey, but when it came out, it was the whole Bohemian Rhapsody thing. It was just massive.
What's happened to Mike Myers?
Oh, he's in the Queen film, wasn't he? Bohemian Rhapsody, ironically.
Oh yeah,
but no one recognised him.
He's the agent, isn't he? Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when he's like, yeah, well, who
is he going to start doing like horror movies and stuff, like a bit of a Robin Williams move? Suddenly start doing, or like Jim Carrey.
Well, every comedian gets fed up of people thinking they can't do serious roles, and at some point they try and do a serious role.
And because they're so used to overacting, turns out they're actually quite good at acting. Yeah.
I mean, Robin Williams obviously amazing actor. Jim Carrey, what have I? I suppose Truman's Show. I haven't seen many of his dramatic roles really. But
what's the one?
Where's he gone? By the way,
Joel in one of them, isn't he?
What's happened to him?
He was Dr. Robotnik in the latest Sonic film.
Funny enough, I haven't seen that.
Didn't you play Sonic back in the day?
No. That was Sega, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was Nintendo.
Oh, you're a Mario guy. Well, that was Bob Hoskins, and that didn't go too well.
And John Leguizamo, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I always forget it's John Leguizamo. Because he's Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet, and he's obviously that little squirrel thing in Ice Age 2.
Not sure I've seen Ice Age 2. The kids watch Rio. In fact, they didn't watch Rio 2.
I mean Ice Age TOO. He's in all the Ice Ages.
Oh, right, okay. Well, the kids just paid $9.99 to buy Rio 2 from Sky Store yesterday.
And you thought that was acceptable parenting?
No, it didn't at all, because they told me it was $3.49. So I took £5 out of their Go Henry's account each.
I've got a lot of time for your children. That's amazing.
It's like $3.49. So I've got an invoice for $9.90. Two different sums of money.
And what hell broke loose when you took the money off them?
This is going to sound really bad, but I'm not sure I told them. I've just taken the money.
So you avoided the hassle?
No, it's one of those things, right, I'm going to take the bloody money and see what they say. And I think I just took the money and didn't tell them.
So I would guess, out of your two kids, only one of them regularly keeps an eye on how much is in their Go Henry.
Yes. They're both getting...
So I know which one's going to point out that money's gone.
Who's that?
Holly.
Yeah. Maddie's getting more financially savvy, but Holly's always been on it. I think Maddie will have a job where money is
inconsequential.
Yeah, it plays a part, and yep, I'd rather sit in a Porsche than cry on a bicycle, etc., etc. But whereas Holly is quite money motivated.
So Maddie will do something for the love, which is admirable.
She wants to come and work here. That's brilliant. I says, Matt, if money's inconsequential, you come and work here for free. Brilliant. On her sort of media course at school, I'm learning about photography and stuff and social media content.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I said, well, when all this social distancing stuff's out of the way, I says, yeah, come and sit with Emily and she'll talk about video editing. And yeah, she was getting quite into her photography.
Really? That's really cool.
Yeah, really cool. So, yeah, so maybe she does want to be an entrepreneur. and she'll have to learn about money on that side of
Well,
things.
she wants
now.
to be an entrepreneur. She doesn't want to be a photographer.
An entrepreneur photographer. But no,
There is some, but-
she, you know, you need to know the sums and all that kind of stuff. But I suppose we're here to talk about mindset, not the other podcast, which is more about the business side of things.
The marketing side, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. So let's think of some examples.
People that do fake outtake videos. There's one.
Fucking hell.
I knew that would get you, but let's get to the point.
Okay, so we've got to be very careful here because there are
Right,
certain.
bollocks.
Okay, I was going to say, well, you're the one who usually gets more worried than me. It's usually me that puts my foot in it.
Yeah, I thought we'd do role reversal.
There are certain types of people who will get more engagement than you, but again, it's an unfair world. You do two exact same kind of videos, but they will be part of a community that is going to be more supportive.
Yes. So there's two things we're talking about.
I'm worried about what you're going to say now. That's a first.
Here we go. So there's people who record videos and they're not afraid to leave the frayed edges in because the content value of the video is still worthwhile.
I try really hard on my videos, Joel. That's really unfair.
But if they leave a little cock up in it, it's funny and it also shows that they're human. And I'm all for that. That's okay. They don't have to be super polished. You'll never get anything done if you take that approach. There's other people who I'm seeing now are quite regularly posting outtakes from their social media content. But it's like
Alleged outtakes.
So you film that on your own. So is that really an outtake? Because the only person laughing was you. And
unfortunately now, all your mates.
Well, yeah, because they're supportive and nice, and that's a nice thing to do. But without sounding ultra negative, what the hell has that got? What?
It's for the lols.
But so a lot of people, personal brand's really important to the values of their business. So you want to get across your personality. So, you know, I try and get across some of my vulnerabilities because I think it'll help others. I try and get across the fact that I'm outwardly quite confident, inwardly.
But that's what I admire about you. You talk about your vulnerabilities to help someone. So this is the problem I faced. This is what I did that helped me. Maybe it can work for you. You don't just go and cry across social media about how shit life is with no actual objective.
Yeah, so that's where I'm heading with the outtake thing. Is if someone else films your video, and like if it was me, for example, I probably would make a cock up and then swear quite badly, and so we'd have to cut it out. But there's some value in that outtake in the fact that our audience would be like, oh, right, well, there's the real Joel. He kind of gets a bit irate with himself and takes out on himself, and it's quite funny watching a grown man have a little melt. Get that. If you're cutting together 10 pieces of times where you've mispronounced words and then put that out on a Friday and you're labelling yourself as funny, I always find that it'd be very strange for a comedian on Facebook or Twitter to start putting #joke under every time they made a joke. Or only to post jokes on Friday because it's #FridayFun. That's really weird. They're funny because it's ingrained in their personality. If they start pointing out when they're trying to be funny, it's not funny anymore.
It's like if you're the admin of a Facebook page and you think you're liking your page's post as yourself, you're not. The default setting will be to like it as your page. So it basically looks like you're clapping, you're patting yourself. Yeah, patting yourself on your back. And it's like, or sometimes people might use a sort of crying emoji face wrong, and it just looks like you're laughing at, oh, aren't I funny? Hi there, it's Andy at Codebreak. Thanks for listening to the Stay Hungry podcast. It's business owners like you that keep the wheels of the world turning. Did you know that Codebreak offers a marketing consultancy service? Visit codebreak.co.uk today and book your discovery call with me or Joel, and let's skyrocket your business together. We can't wait to hear about your goals. Aha! See, got to re-record that.
No, I think that's brilliant.
No, it's not. Way too chirpy.
You can't bring that up every time I press it either.
Well, no, I want to change it.
It's not humble to talk about yourself this much, Andy.
Lol. Can I do a laughing face emoji on that? Yes. So let's talk about support networks, because let's face it, if you do a post, whether it's personal or business, and loads of people engage with it, you get that little endorphin hit, like, oh look, I've had another like, oh I've had another laugh, oh I've had another little heart.
I've got a prime example.
Oh, go on.
So my friend Dale, we brought him up a few times on the podcast now, messaged me the other day, said, I've seen your latest video. I've got a bit of feedback for you. Now, it is
irrelevant.
Unsolicited
Irrelevant.
feedback, But
It's not relevant.
he is one of my few friends.
Not necessary.
You need to stop.
All right, I'll stop it.
He's one of my few friends who would be willing to criticise me, and they're very worthwhile friends. Someone to point out when you're doing something wrong. You know, there's plenty of people. Everyone's got plenty of people in their lives that will kind of give them a pat on the back when they don't deserve one, and that's dangerous territory sometimes because you can build up a false sense of security.
Oh, that's a genius topic, Joel. That deserves like a podcast series. That whole area about feedback online, asking for feedback, and having the wrong people in your, not the wrong people, but well-meaning people, but ultimately the wrong people in your circle who'll tell you how wonderful your new video is, how lovely your new podcast is, when it's really shit.
Yeah.
And you just think, oh, brilliant, I'll carry on doing it exactly the same then, because all my mates tell me it's wonderful, because they haven't got the heart to take you to one side and say, listen, actually, have you realised that XYZ's going on? You need to change this.
I mean, you and I fall into that category that we'll disagree on things quite regularly.
Yeah.
But we've promised each other that we'll be honest with each other.
Yeah, always.
Which can sometimes be a bit uncomfortable, but it's way better than the alternative.
What's Dale said to you then?
He just pointed out some habits I've got when I'm on video that he thinks.
Like what? Don't tell me you're picking your nose or something.
No, but he says he can. At the time, in that particular video, he could tell it was an auto cue, and that a good way to resolve that is to stand a bit further back, zoom the camera in a bit more, so that you can't see that your eyes are scanning.
Okay.
And then he's talking about the inflections in my voice because I'm clearly reading. I need to make sure I know my material before I start so that I can choose the bits to emphasise rather than forgetting what I'm reading and then emphasising at the wrong point.
We've got to do a podcast about feedback. I'm excited about that now. I want to talk about it now, but I know that's not the subject. But it's like, because if you didn't respect Dale so much and he didn't know his craft, it'd be like, thanks, but it's not necessary.
Oh, yeah, I must qualify that by we've literally had Dale on a podcast talking about presenting techniques. So it's not unsolicited feedback in the sense that someone I went to school with has decided to bury me. It's someone I trust who is a TV presenter, so he knows what he's talking about, giving me feedback. And he said, and his opening gambit was, I've got a bit of feedback for you that I think will help you with future videos. Coming from a TV presenter, I'll listen to that. If it's Jim from the pub.
And be very wary, guys out there. Sorry, and girls. There's a lot of Jims from the pub out there. Remember, it's so important that in business, everyone is an expert with someone else's business. When it's someone else's business, someone else's money,
someone else's
relationships, children's, pets, they're always an expert. And you can't listen to everyone. It's so important who you have in your circle, which I think we talked about last week, because when Dale's got feedback for you, you listen. When Jim down the pub's got feedback for you, it really is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's very kind of you, not necessary. Save yourself some time, give me the feedback. Save me some time having to listen to it because it's shit. You're not qualified to give me feedback.
I've got two friends.
That sounds horrible, doesn't it, actually?
It does, but I'm trying to... If you think of who I surround myself with, so what, like the people I spend the most time with, you're one of them, and we're on the same journey, so it's really important that we check each other quite regularly. If you're flying off in one direction and I think it's wrong and I don't tell you, I'm doing you a disservice as a friend and as a business partner. Same in the other direction. I've got another friend who's self-employed who's recently taken over a business, and the sort of figures he's dealing with make me scared. But I absolutely respect his opinion because he's having to take risks that most people wouldn't take. So I've got another friend, Dale's the other friend who's self-employed, works in the acting and presenting business, literally the most cutthroat industry there is, and he's made a success of it. Respect his opinion. And then I've got two employed friends. One's become the financial director of a big multinational, and the other is the property manager for a massive restaurant group. And they deal with multi-million-pound problems every day, and therefore I can talk to them about, certainly on business terms, there's things I can raise with them that they can help me with.
Okay, what about an unsuccessful business owner? Someone who's had a string of businesses, Generally, maybe them on their own. Maybe they've even phoenixed a couple of times, and they call up, Joel, I've got some feedback for you on your latest video.
My gut instinct would be, I don't need to hear it. The only caveat to that would be if it's a mistake they've made that then I can avoid making. It could be worth hearing. You learn more from your mistakes than you do from your successes, and better to learn from someone else's mistake than to make the mistake yourself. So there will be very, very weathered, failed business owners out there that can provide a lot of insight for successful people.
So how do you know, generally asking, how do you know, playing the odds, who to listen, who to give your time to listen to? Because you can't say, yes, okay, give me feedback to everyone.
But I think there's a lot of gut instinct with it. So
you've got to trust your gut, haven't you?
Yeah. There'll be a lot of people out there that, for whatever reason, you'll look at them and be like, hang on, you are in no position to lecture me on such and such. So you see people who've had multiple divorces telling you how you should treat your wife. Well, maybe you've learned your lesson and you're trying to impart that on me. But at the same time,
I'd rather listen to someone who's been happy married for 50 years.
Yes. Or I think in football, there's a big argument that most football players don't really believe in coaches that haven't played the game themselves, because they're kind of like, well, who are you to tell me how to play? Not so much in American sports. In American sports, they very much see management coaching as entirely different to playing.
So Mourinho is probably about the only exception. Not that I know much about football, but I'm right in thinking he's never played. Is that right?
Well, he did play, but not at an exceptional level. Okay. Yeah, and there's a few now. I mean, Klopp at Liverpool.
Has he never played?
He did play professional football. He wasn't a particularly successful professional footballer, because they're starting to understand that he brings in analysis and team. But it's that whole. I'm trying to think of a good example of someone that's provided us feedback.
Okay, so my question. So are you saying you listen to your gut? If someone says, Joe, I've got some feedback for you on your latest video. Because let's face it, you can't just listen to feedback from everyone. You just haven't got the time. And to be honest, some of that feedback, if it's going to be wrong, but like you say, if it's meant to be, if you're meant to be a successful business owner, you have to make decisions. And you'll make some bad decisions, but if it's meant to be, you'll make more right decisions than wrong ones.
So someone might say to me, I didn't really like the tone that you took in that video. Well, chances are I wasn't talking to you. And that's you can get quite tough like that. So I know the type of business owner that I'm trying to attract with our videos. I know who I'm trying to talk to. And that probably discounts 9 out of 10 business owners, which is it's a weird thing to say, but that's what I'm also actively trying to disqualify people. So if someone watches and goes, well, he's a bit direct. Well, if you think that's direct, you're not going to enjoy a monthly catch-up with me if you were one of my clients. So, I'm going to sit with you and tell you what's shit about your business and what we need to sort out to make this work. If you think I'm being direct on a video, probably best we don't work together. And so if they ring up and say, well, I was thinking about working, and this happened quite recently, didn't it? Someone inquired and said, but I've seen some of your social media content and you're a bit direct and a bit loud. Yeah. Well, I'm direct and loud when I'm doing your marketing too. Well, what do you mean? I was like, well, obviously we'll do it and voice it for your audience. But if I think something's wrong with your business, I'm going to tell you, I don't think I can work with you. Fine. Absolutely fine.
Is this the same person who said we were too visible, or was that someone else? Because someone said that recently. I'm like, well, we're a fucking marketing agency. We've got to be visible. Don't want to be like the world's best kept secret.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Was that someone else, or was that the same person?
I think it's a separate occasion. The one I'm talking about is a cleaning company.
I'm trying to think now who it was who said just seeing you everywhere. You're very, very in your face. And it's like, well...
Do they mean in your face, or do they mean visible?
I think they meant both. I mean, we're in a lot of places and we're quite direct. And I don't think they liked either. And so that's brilliant. I was like, thank you. You've disqualified yourself.
Very, very difficult to help someone with their marketing and be indirect.
Saves me some time.
Softly marketing. There's a place for it. I can see there'd be some gentle things that have to be approached gently, which we could do. But behind closed doors, you need to be able to have direct conversations with business owners. And
And you can't be gentle and expect quick results either. Like,
Yeah.
we're having a similar conversation with our business mentor about how much money we spend on our budget. We spend a sizable amount of money every month on advertising. And we could get to where we want to be quicker if we spend more money, or we spend less money, and we'll still get there. We'll just get there slower. So if you want to be gentle with your marketing, that's fine. But if you want to like double in business by next year, well, you probably need to be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know our growth goals, and we know where we want to be and when. And so our mentor directly said to us, basically, you ain't going to get there doing it how you're doing it now. Anyway.
And we certainly wouldn't get anywhere if we were just reliant on people who like us or know us and support us hitting that thumbs up on all our posts. It's lovely and I'll take it and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But I'm very aware and I have to make sure I can clearly explain to new clients that it ain't about the likes and the lols. It's about who's going to buy off you, who's going to be loyal to you, who's going to refer to you. This is a commercial enterprise.
Yeah.
Facebook, it's B2C. It's no, forget that. It's a business vehicle.
And you start to realise you're building a tribe as well. So, for example, I posted a couple of weeks ago, Fergus got promoted in our team to technical manager. And I just posted a big shout out to this guy. Been with me for X many years. Great to see how he's progressed and looking forward to working with you as part of the management team. And some of our biggest clients engaged with that post because they feel part of our tribe. And that's great because they're the sort of people that I want other people like them to see. And
Did your mum like it?
no, because she's not on LinkedIn.
Oh, my mum keeps asking if she can go on Instagram. Not that she needs my permission, of course, but I'd have to.
What she means is, can you show her how to use Instagram?
It's like she's on Facebook, and that's enough. Does that sound really cruel? It's like just another vehicle for my mum to stalk me and tell me off for swearing.
Yeah, I don't post very much on personal Facebook or Instagram because it just feels like people are peering through my window.
Is your Instagram account private then? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I did think about having like a Joel Codebreak one.
Quite a few businesses are private accounts.
Really?
It's like if you want to see our stuff, you have to send us a request. What do you think about that?
Pretty cool if you're an exclusive product. If you're something, or if you only work with a handful of people, that's pretty cool. It's very good in terms of the mentality of building a tribe, making people feel loyal and part of something special.
Yeah. It's actually, I mean, I was thinking, walking the dogs this morning, thinking about all these clicktivists out there now. It'll wind me up a little bit.
What do you mean? What's a clicktivist?
Clicktivist, someone who wants to take a stand against something but basically can't be asked.
So they wouldn't go and protest?
No, they won't go and protest about something. They just find someone on Facebook who supported that and just hit the like button.
So like the Twitterati?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, so, God, I was going to say a really old fart thing now, but yeah, we used to protest if we found something. Or I've
That's because you didn't have electricity, Andy.
or the people who, and I know this winds you up as well, the people who, oh God, I really lost my train of thought now. Right. The people who moan about politics and politicians, government, but don't actually vote.
Don't.
I've got a couple of, I was going to say friends, but they're social media friends. It's like, why moan about the Tories or you moaned about Corbyn? You've literally got no say in this. You couldn't be asked to vote.
And if I ask those people, okay, name 3 things off their manifestos.
Yeah, I haven't read them.
Not a clue.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, get lost.
Yeah. Oh, I really support. It's terrible what's going on in Ethiopia. Right? Okay, what are you doing about it? Well, I'm following this like Help Ethiopia Facebook page and pressing the like button every so often. Well, that's fuck all good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay. So I sponsor a kid in Ethiopia, and
humble brag.
I send. I don't know. Actually, it's 5 children. No, of course it is. I sponsor this kid in Ethiopia, and every month I get a little video of what's going on and stuff, and that's great. But even that will get me shit off friends because we got problems on our own backyard,
fuck off.
And it's like, okay, all right, okay, you can't help everyone. Now I have this with my children. When we're watching something on telly in real time, which is rare, and if it's a family program, especially around Christmas time, they get all the charity ads coming in. So there'll be an ad about a snow leopard. There'll be an ad about So literally, Holly said to me yesterday, "What were we watching?" I can't remember now. Oh, but we did watch Enola Holmes on Saturday.
Oh, any good?
And Holly loved it. Maddie not fussed at all.
Filmed by my house, wasn't it?
I'm not sure about this whole breaking the is it the fourth wall?
Oh, does it do that a lot?
Oh, she does it all the way through, where she looked at the camera and said, and it could come across really smug and, well, there we go, lolling.
It works in Deadpool because he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, but even Deadpool annoyed me a bit.
The point is that he breaks the fourth wall in the comic book, doesn't he?
So she does this all the way through. So it's pretty good. And I suppose it is called Enola Holmes, so it's going to be about her, but I was perhaps expecting a bit more Sherlock and Mycroft, which is Henry Cavill and Sam Claflin, is it? The guy from Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
They were very, very much minor roles. But, to be honest, Millie Bobby Brown can do no wrong anyway, and she's a fantastic role model. And we enjoyed it. It was good fun. But it was Netflix, so there were no ad breaks. But we were watching an ad break, and this baby gorilla ad came up. And Holly's like, oh, could you get my Go Henry card? It's £3 a month. It's like, and I had to have a talk to her about, well, okay, you wanted to sponsor a snow leopard last week. You want a gorilla now, a kid in Africa, whatever it might be. You can't help everyone. But again,
how old's Holly?
10.
That's pretty admirable, isn't it?
So I could moan about Ethiopia, but no, I'd rather do something. And if I can't give money, okay, maybe I can give some time. And there's a difference in that and just pressing a bloody like button.
So
I think
you've sparked a fire in me here.
Oh, go on then.
So doing it for the lol situation, but a couple of years ago we had terrible floods at Christmas in the UK.
I know what you're going to say. Go on.
Shockingly bad floods.
I shared the post.
Yeah, and I'd gone away for Christmas and New Year with Hannah, so probably 4, maybe 5 years ago now.
Hang on, where'd you go away for Christmas?
Well, we went Boxing Day to a cottage in Wales and stayed away for New Year. So I was sort of doing the whole lock myself in a bubble, let's eat all the Christmas leftovers, sod the world. Anyway, it must have been New Year's Eve. I went onto Facebook and it was full of certain people saying, do you know our government gives £40 million a week to foreign aid, blah, blah, blah. Don't you think they should be helping us with our floods and helping us with our troops? And people liking and sharing it and posting Union Jacks and St. George Cross and all this shit. And I think it's the only Facebook rant I've ever done. Wrote a really, really long post about it's terribly sad that people's homes are flooded and damaged. However, we're fortunate to live in a country where people should have home insurance. Blah, 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 and I went through things. We live in a country where the roads will get rebuilt, blah, 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 blah. To say that we should take money from war-torn countries and refugees that are literally fleeing, political and literal genocides, I think is way off the mark. And then all of my kind of other friends jumped on that and gave me loads of likes and stuff. But most of that fever and those people liking and sharing all that crap didn't know where they were sharing it from, didn't know what they were liking. And it panned out that these people were jumping on the bandwagon of some pretty dark causes, some things that, actually are linked to some pretty nasty shit. And it took me kind of going against the grain, against a lot of family members and friends to say, hang on, steady on, guys. Agree we should sort out these people in the flood situation, but let's not help Syrian refugees because we've got a bit of rain.
Someone we both know very much on our periphery, I'm not going to name them obviously, did a post which showed a picture of some kids in London during the Blitz, in some derelict building, saying, we didn't try and escape our country when we got bombed, and it's like, oh my God, just the level of stupidity, I think. And so obviously, this is,
we
again,
weren't getting bombed by our own government for one.
Yeah, we could take, we could take this to a whole level about, again, just the importance of having people in your circle. Make sure, as much as control as you have, that you're exposed to people with the same kind of values and ideals as you. And then, I guess, for the sake of this podcast, we're talking about the actual opposite, the people who are like whatever you do because they want to be nice and supportive. And you also do, well, you already talked about it, you need that honesty in your circle to say, okay, well, that video you've done, I know you're doing that video to try and help people, but you said all the way through, or did you realise you keep putting your eyes down, so you're not looking at the camera all the time, and all this kind of stuff? People who have a constructive opinion based upon their own successes, shall we say, or maybe their own business challenges, rather than Jim down the pub. But it can be difficult because, when you are seeing all these lols and likes, great, I'll do more of those posts then. I'll do more funny cat videos because it gets tons of engagement. No. Does that align with your brand? Is it making the boat go faster?
Yeah, hugely. So we've got some clients who between 60 and 70% of their website traffic comes from social media. But if you went and looked at the public-facing engagements, because to clarify, a click is an engagement, but you wouldn't know as a member of the public how many clicks any post has got. So if you went and looked at their posts, they maybe have got 1 or 2 likes or shares, but actually the clicks are huge behind it because the way we're writing the posts or the way we're encouraging the engagement is to go and read more or to go and check out their service or their offering. And that's something that you need to really get your head around early doors with any of your business content is it doing what I wanted it to do? So a lot of our content is about either showcasing who we are as a business, whether we get engagement or not doesn't really matter. It just shows who we are, what our personalities are, what we kind of do behind the scenes, or driving traffic to our website or our podcast. And I know that our stuff does drive that traffic. So that's the engagement I needed.
It's like video. Obviously, it's the most engaging form of social media communication at the moment. But in all the Facebook ads we've run, if the goal is to get someone to click through to a web page, we tend to advise not using video, because video will get all the lols and likes and engagement, but people will be so engrossed in the video they won't actually do what you want them to do, which is click through to the website. So in our experience, we've always had much better success using still images rather than videos if the goal is to go through to a website. So like I say, it's looking at that final link in the chain. What do you want your content to do?
Yeah.
Because if all you want is a few cheap laughs, or I want everyone to like my page, so I'm going to give away a bottle of wine, well, in the long term, you're going to be your own undoing.
Yeah, hugely. Yeah. I see a lot of that now where it would take an incredibly engaging video or webinar to make people action a click to a website or buy a product at the end. So like you're saying, you need to kind of have a look at, right, what's the objective? And it might be you need them to watch that video because it could be you need to educate your audience a lot more anyway. Or it might be you want them to watch that slideshow, or you want them to look at that carousel, or you want them to look at that image, or you want them to go and listen to that podcast. But whatever you're doing needs to lead into that action, and that action might not be classed as an engagement in social media terms.
Yeah. And I say, you mentioned the word tribe, and I think most people will be part of some kind of tribe, whether they know it or not. But when you get your tribe supporting you, again, to the outsider, that could be, oh, look, they've had loads of likes. Yeah, but it's off the same tribe. And some tribes are more supportive than others. A lady, I don't know, she's like second or third connection on LinkedIn, I think yesterday or Saturday, did a post, she'd been baptised. And so obviously she got loads of support off people from various, a few, like, what do they call it, non-denominational religions as well, but religious people, basically. And I think she did get criticism as well, because obviously you're bound to get bloody atheists, and atheists, fucking hell, they're just trying to atone for all the Jehovah's Witnesses in the 80s. I think atheists are just fucking hell the same as religious people. I think you're trying to shove your opinion down.
You mean like the proactive social media versions?
If you don't believe in God, that's fine. Don't fucking hammer it home to everyone else. Although, like my really, really, really atheist friend who puts his kids into Catholic school, so like christens them and everything. It's like, well, make your mind up there.
It's a tricky one to talk about on the podcast, but I find trying to disprove something that you can't prove a weird thing.
Well, I think just trying to shove. It's like, okay, when election time comes about, okay, I'm glad you voted Tory, I'm glad you voted Labour, whatever I'm not glad if you voted BNP, but vote for who you want. When was the last time someone changed their political leanings because of a Facebook post? Anyway, this religious post, she got lots of support of her religious tribe, and that's great. There will be tribes supporting women. There will be tribes supporting single mums, stay-at-home dads, And if you are part of that tribe, again, that will help with your numbers. As for whether that will actually make your boat go faster, that is a different conversation.
So you've got different tribes, and I think everybody's probably got 5 or 6 tribes that they're in. So let's talk about me because it's easier. We've got a business tribe. There's certain people that you and I would both be comfortable with one of us talking to about business. And I would say that's our business tribe. Some of those might be clients, some might be suppliers, some might be mentors, some might be people that we see as successful. And that's our kind of business tribe. And chances are if they engage with our content or share it, it probably puts it in front of the right kind of people. We've both got social tribes, so the kind of the people that we would go for dinner with or have a day out with or spend family time with.
Very small tribe, mine.
But that's very different to your business tribe, or might be. Then, like you say, if you are a church goer, you might have your religious tribe, or if you play sport, you might have, your sports tribe, the people that are in your team or in your club or whatever it might be. Or like in your case, you're big into running now, so you're starting to build up kind of a circle of like running and cyclists that are, you back and forth about various things, but they're different things. So I know my friends will be very supportive of any business move I make, and that support's very welcome and that engagement's very welcome, but it isn't going to make an actionable difference to my business. Where if the business tribe jump on board, chances are it would make an actionable difference to my business. If my sports club tribe, the people I go to the gym with, jumped on it, probably not going to make an actionable difference. And you need to start seeing things like, right, is my content talking to the right people? Are the right people actioning on it? That isn't the same as the engagement necessarily. And
some tribes are more vocal than others. So you might have, like say, a business tribe, but if they're busy, successful business people, they're not on Facebook sharing my posts. They're busy bloody making money. So if you've got a tribe that, let's say, is at home twiddling their thumbs a lot, absolutely you'll get loads of engagements and lols, but like you say, it's not going to make the boat go faster. And if you the fact is you could record a video and I don't know, Emily could record the video exactly the same. You'll get different types of reactions because you're both part of the business community, but you're both part of other communities.
We see that in our business. Georgia has a massive social circle, and she's great at video. If she posts a video, it'll get way more engagement than mine. Way more engagement than mine, because she's got different larger tribes. The content of her video is just as good as mine, and just as better. And just as important to our business tribe and growing that side of things. But she brings in a lot more peripheral engagement that doesn't necessarily make the boat go faster. But it's great for her to see that people support her. And that's where I guess my social tribe are a bit long in the tooth. Like, fucking hell, Joel's done another video.
Would you say some people play up to their tribe?
Play up to the wrong tribe sometimes. Some people playing up to the right tribe. Clever. If you can speak to your target audience or your tribe or your group in a way that resonates, you're nailing it. That's awesome. As long as you're being authentic. If you're not
exploiting, I know. I know.
Almost exploiting. It's the I'm going to post something because I know it will get engagement from this group. But if the answer is it doesn't make your business better or stronger or generate more traffic, why? What? Yes, ego comes in then, and I would suggest we've probably both fallen into that trap in the past, that you post something that you know will be fun and get some engagement, and actually it doesn't resonate with the audience that we're trying to talk to.
I mean, went to scratch my ear then, forgot to get headphones on. I'm seeing a lot of, I shared a post on LinkedIn yesterday. It was a guy I didn't know, Second Connection or whatever, and he posted just a funny picture about graphic design. It generally was funny. It doesn't sound funny, but it was.
I feel like I'm getting sensitive about this.
And I shared it. And what I wrote to accompany that share, I genuinely felt, is that, and I think I wrote something like, I can't remember the last time something made me laugh on LinkedIn. And I love LinkedIn, but I'm seeing quite a lot of business social media go for the sympathy vote. And I'm trying to be very nice how I say this.
You just entirely lack empathy. Is that what we're saying?
You sound like my mother now. But you, like we said about you, you are open about some of your vulnerabilities, but you're not exploiting the situation. So you're trying to help people. There are somebody who's like, and of course, if something bad's happened and you, for whatever reason, want to post publicly about it, okay, that's fine. But also, I really hope you are talking to people face to face, and you do have that strong personal network around you. But you will get a ton of engagement because people want to support you through your trouble, your crisis.
Yes.
But there will be a lot of stuff in there that ain't generally going to help you. You'll get all these numbers, but as for making you feel better and helping your situation, those kind of posts where you're not deliberately trying to elicit sympathy, but I think there are quite a few people there, especially on LinkedIn now, who are trying to take a bad situation that's affected lots of other people, but it's affected me more, or I'm one of the rare people.
The one that really gets me.
I'm in lockdown.
So I'll frame this with a bit of honesty. Quite a hard thing. So I'm like a high functioning clinical depressive. So I suffer with depression near enough every day to varying amounts. But I still go to work. I still go to the gym. Blah 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 blah. One of the things that really gets me is the people who say, "Oh, I've achieved all of this today, even though I've got depression," or "I've achieved all of this today, even though I've got a child at home," or "I've achieved all of this today, even though my car has broken down." I find that personally offensive. I'm like, hang on. It wasn't even though of that. You don't need that little bit at the end. That's the bit where you're trying to clickbait people and get them to sympathise and like your thing. Be proud of the achievement you've done anyway. And that might sound really, really harsh, but
like the people who hijack things that are very sensitive subjects.
Yeah.
And it's all about, they turn a subject such as depression to be all about them because something may have happened to them in the past. It's like, well, you're sort of missing the whole point. We're trying to raise awareness of a condition and help other people who are struggling with it.
Exactly. So depression's a good one to frame it with. What you could do is say, this is how I managed to achieve all of this even though I've got depression, which is very different to saying I achieved all of this even though I've got depression. And suddenly you've reframed it into, not only have I managed to do all of that, but someone else could take my tips and advice and apply it to them. That's positive, and that would be an amazing thing if someone was doing that, but that's not what they're doing. They're saying, sometimes it's hard for me to even get out of bed in the morning, but today I managed to get through my entire to-do list, smiley face. Well, hang on. Some people have got people dying of COVID in their lives. They might have terminal cancer. Just steady on a second.
I mean, there were. I didn't see this much. I think even to be honest, the thickest of people would have realised it wasn't the right thing to do. But I would say during the whole Black Lives Matter movement, obviously it's a movement, it's still going on. But when it all, I was going to say kicked off, but whatever. What was that Tuesday?
A Blackout Tuesday.
Blackout Tuesday. There were some people on the periphery of our circles again who would turn it about them, and they weren't from any minor ethnicity. They literally turned it into they got mildly bullied because they were tall or short or fat or thin. And it's like, oh my God, you've taken this massive monumental subject and you've turned it about you. It doesn't even fucking affect you.
Yeah.
And you get lots of other people in your circle saying, that's so bad that happened to you. Oh, I had that at school because I had ginger hair as well. And it's like, I mean, some of the stuff I saw was
flabbergasting,
staggering. Yeah. Just couldn't believe it, and it takes a lot to stagger me. But when you do a post like that and you get lots of lols off your circle, what are you going to do more of? Oh, I'll do those kind of posts again, and that's when social media becomes cyclical, and it can really do harm if you're trying to grow your business.
Yeah, and I'll give you an example of the sort of person that does that. And I mean, this is obviously broad brush. I don't want to hammer everyone. When you're in a social situation and someone asks you how you are, Nobody expects you to say, well, things have been a bit tough lately. And there's always one. If you're in a group of 5, there'll always be one that's like, things are a bit tough lately. Now, that's entirely different to taking you to one side and saying, I'm really struggling, could do with your help. And, you know, any of my friends want to take me to one side and I'll do everything I can to help you. But it's like that social etiquette, and you see it on social media all the time. People are like, I'm finding Tuesdays really difficult at the moment, and it's like, I couldn't give a shit if you're finding Tuesdays really difficult. Like, we've all got stuff going on. How could you reframe that to say, well, I found Mondays I seem to get through okay, but Tuesdays I found particularly difficult, and the way I've dealt with it is this, and I think this would be really useful for all of you. Fine. All good. It's just, I don't know. Is it the sympathy vote I don't like? I think that might be what I'm saying, like clickbait sympathy.
Clickbait. Well, LinkedIn has become just rife. It's. I'm not saying that the platform's getting destroyed, but there's a lot of people out there, the LinkedIn police, who I mean, there's LinkedIn coaches everywhere now. I mean, every other person on LinkedIn is a LinkedIn coach. I don't know what kind of qualifications involved apart from posting 20 times a day. But the clickbait, the sympathy votes, the literally trying to identify with every single struggle out there, even though it doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah.
It must be very hard for people who actually genuinely are dealing with depression or racism. I mean, God, you know, Christ, I've suffered verbal and physical abuse for my ethnicity. And okay, I chose not to post about it at all, but I could have done.
Yeah.
But I didn't, and I didn't want to post about the struggles I had when I was younger. Oh, look, I got lots of support on LinkedIn or Facebook because 500 people liked that post. Now, if you feel you need that support, okay, but if that's a competitor of yours, don't fall for it. They're getting lots of engagement. That's fine. Just let them get on with what they want to do. You get on with what you think's right, and seek counsel, seek experienced, successful counsel. Join a mastermind group, seek out a business mentor, and take advice from someone who's qualified to give it. Don't just look at your competitors who are like, oh God, right, I should post about feeling a bit blue today or something because it will get me lots of reactions.
And in all fairness, if those things, whether they happened to you in the past or in the present, are still affecting you, seek the right help as well. LinkedIn isn't going to be it.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Whether that's counselling, whether that's medication, whether that's joining a group where you can talk about things, you know, like an Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever it might be. I'm absolutely an advocate for seeking help, and because you owe it to your business, for one. This is a business mindset podcast. But you owe it to your business, your family, your friends, to keep yourself in the best shape possible. And you owe it to yourself. Trying to seek that sympathy on LinkedIn isn't going to make you feel better, because all that will happen is when it goes away, you'll feel worse. And I think using it for clickbait to try and prop yourself up is really dangerous territory. Oh, that went deep.
Yeah, well, it's quite deep. I mean, I did a post on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, and it's still getting engagements now. And it was basically, here's a picture of me before I started getting off my arse, and here's a picture of me since giving up the booze and all sorts of fun. And about how trying to improve my physical health has helped my mental health and the confidence and how I attack the business. And I think that was pretty much it. But it's got loads of engagements. So, of course, I totally understand the temptation. You do a post about something, even if it's a funny cat video. Oh, it's had loads of lols. Oh, brilliant. I'll do more funny cat videos. And we see this a lot with motivational quotes. People use a motivational quote, resonates well, and they end up posting motivational quotes 20 times a week. It's what they call the diminishing power of returns or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, surprise, surprise, another motivational quote from Aristotle. Brilliant. Well, there we go. You know, you've got to use things a bit sparingly. So if you want to post about something the personal, of course, free world, do what you want. But just because it gets reactions, don't think, oh, brilliant, I'll do more of that.
Yeah.
A little goes a long way.
A little goes a long way.
It is deep today, isn't it? Blimey, sounds like we're getting all serious.
So what's your key takeaway from doing it for the lols, Andy? What could someone who maybe their business is just starting to get some traction and they want to know what they should be doing next, what should they avoid?
Avoid the people in your circle that shouldn't be in your circle. In fact, get them out of your circle. If you are getting a bit fixated about certain people in your circle, second connections, first connections, whatever, and you think actually it's actually detrimental to my business. I started following the person to learn off them, but actually they're just posting shit that's getting loads of engagement but of no relevance to my business.
Yeah.
Cut them out of your circle. And when we talk about cutting people out of your circle, sometimes it can mean face to face. There are people in your circle, family and friends, who, as your business grows, you might realise actually, I can't accommodate as much of you in my life as I used to. Some people won't like that.
I've done something recently.
Oh, go on.
This is a bit sly, and probably says more about me. But neither of them listen to the podcast, so it's safe. I've got a little trio. We go to the football together. We go to the pub together when we were allowed and stuff like that.
How did Shrewsbury do? Weekend.
They drew 1-1 with Plymouth at Plymouth.
Okay, didn't know Plymouth had a team. Oh well.
Sod off. Anyway, it doesn't matter what I say at the moment in our group chat. One of the group will turn it into a negative. They'll say something negative. So
You're talking about business or anything?
Anything.
Oh,
anything. Wow. So I've deliberately been posting positive stuff to prove my theory. And so yesterday, really random example, but there was a catch in the 2020 cricket. Not a catch, sorry, a piece of field in the 2020 cricket where if the ball goes out of the boundary in cricket, it's a 4 or a 6. If the fielder catches it and then the fielder goes out of the boundary, it's a 4 or a 6. So
But the batsman gets out as well then?
No, the batsman's not out because the fielder's landed out of the boundary.
Oh, okay. So you mean if he catches it inside the boundary but falls out?
Yeah, then it's a 6 or a 4. It's not.
Well, didn't know that.
Well, it won't, yeah, if he's caught it, it won't be a 4 because it would have bounced. But anyway, the batsman hit what looked like it was going for a 6 and the fielder chased it and the commentary couldn't believe the fielder had chased it. And he dived out of the boundary, but before he hit the floor, he flicked the ball back into the boundary. So it hadn't gone for a 6 because none of the fielder nor the ball had touched the ground on the outside of the boundary. And another fielder caught it and threw it in, so they only got 2 runs off what would have been a 6.
Right.
And it was being described online as one of the greatest pieces of fielding ever seen. The piece of athleticism was stunning.
Is he an English cricketer?
No, but I don't even watch cricket. I just saw this clip and was like, wow. Thought, prime one. I'll share this in the group. Look at this. Immediate response. Should have fucking caught it. And then...
something's gone in this person's life
Don't
to
think
have
so.
flipped a switch,
Don't
no?
think so. So I replied saying, if he'd have caught it, it'd have been a 6 because he'd have been out of bounds. Should have jumped higher then.
Wow. I can't be dealing with people like that.
Exactly, and that's a prime
Got
example.
enough shit to deal with.
Prime example of someone that I'm actively now spending less time with because
some people will think this is cruel.
Me. So bad for me though, and
it's hard. You know when you we've both done this. We have been a member over the years of various networking clubs. The fact is, there are some clubs that we've joined where because we've always wanted to learn and grow and not better ourselves, but better our business and employ people if we can, we've outgrown the group. If we join a group now, we both want to be the shittest people in the room. We want to be the least successful people in the room, and the others will pull us up.
Yeah.
But some people don't like that. Oh, too good for our group now, are you? Oh, don't want to hang around with me now. Oh, I ain't got time to return my emails now. And ethically, that I still find that uncomfortable. But I've got to do what's right for our business and our employees.
Yeah, I know I've upset some people with that attitude.
And me.
And they're people I like and respect. But essentially, if I can't help them with whatever it is they're asking about, then all we're doing is wasting each other's time. And that's...
If something is going to take an hour of your time, Joel, because they want to pick your brains and because you've been part of the same group or whatever it might be, well, you haven't got an hour. That's an hour you could be spent helping a paying client.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to to accept.
Incredibly difficult for anyone on a personal level to attach a value to their time. I think unless you're incredibly confident, when someone says to you, you're worth 200 quid an hour, you're worth 500 quid an hour, you're worth £10,000 an hour, someone said to me, you're worth 10 quid an hour. I could cope with that. I'd probably be like, yeah, all right, fair enough. But as soon as those numbers start to go up and you're making actionable differences to people's businesses, it's very difficult to monetize that and put a value on it. But what you need to remember is, if somebody wants an hour of your time, or you go to a networking club once a week that takes up 4 hours of your time, that's costing your business an hour, or it's costing your business 4 hours. And yeah, that's such an important mindset leap that I'm still working on.
Yeah, and me, because we've both recently helped people that we shouldn't have done.
Oh,
and
loads.
Yeah, and it's almost like a lose-lose situation. It's like if you say try and do a really good deal, like the lowest price possible for someone, but it does mean that you can't offer the service you want to because you're doing such a deal. It's a lose-lose, because that person, it didn't bloody work, did it? Well, it's because you only pay me so much. To work, I should have charged the full price. Yeah. Then I could have done all this stuff. Well, they want the best of both worlds. Like the people who I often say they want the gold service, but they want to pay the bronze price.
Yeah, Ferrari for the price of a Mini or whatever.
You can't have it both ways. Do you want a Mini or do you want a Ferrari? And it's something else that, well, there's no happy outcome from it. And if you're trying to help everyone, you're trying to please everyone, if you're giving hours to people who want to pick your brains for free, and probably, if you've been doing this a long time, you've got to factor in all that time, experience and sacrifice into the price you give as well. And if you're giving that time away for free, that's time you could be, let's face it, helping paying clients or spending time with your bloody family and your friends, doing stuff you want to do.
And the analogy you've just given goes back to something we said at the very beginning of the podcast. So we were talking about how we're scaling the business, and if we want to scale it at the speed we want to scale it, we've got to spend more. Mm-hmm. Now, a Mini and a Ferrari both do the same thing. They'll both get you from A to B, but one gets you there a lot faster. So if you approach a business to help you and you try and buy the budget package, it'll probably do what they say it'll do, but it won't do it as quickly or as efficiently as their premium package.
Yeah. Have we done how many podcasts have we done about pricing? I've actually done one about pricing, because it's one of the biggest things in business to get your head around, about cost and value, should I say. Maybe do that next week.
Next week.
Awesome.